a good friend of Rhonda's, and she brought her here. Her name is Ida Sydnor, and probably lots of you who are listening in know who she is. She is the president of the local chapter of the NAACP, the National Council of Colored People, right? National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And so these three energized members of our community want to talk to us about how they became community leaders and how they've stayed active for so many years. Our two change makers have inside knowledge on how to get involved in the community using the skills that you want to use. You might have some skills that you use in your work, but you might have skills that you don't even get to use at your work and you can use in the community. And this is a place for you to try lots of new things. So first I want to introduce you to Ronda Fletcher, the initiator of the Black Women's Prayer Group. Rhonda, would you please tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've learned about how one person can get their project known and supported by the community?
Okay, I'm a native Sacramentan, and I've been here 40 plus years. And I started around 25 years ago working in the community, helping people get elected to office, doing campaigns, precinct walking, and going to women's conferences, and learning how to be an activist in the community, making a change.
So you were able to get some training and mentoring by other people who had put some projects together when you first started. Mm-hmm. Great. Are those kind of people important to us to have mentors?
Oh, definitely, because they turned me on to a lot of different events that gave me leadership qualities. They also helped me to make changes in different things for a lot of other women. I gained a lot of leadership development, a lot of community assessment. I learned how to do fundraising and learned how to coach people into making changes.
How fantastic. Let me also introduce here right now and our other guest, who is Ida Sydnor. And so, Ida, when did you first get involved in the community? And what incident in your life got you going in this direction?
I became involved in the community many years ago as a gospel choir director in the local church. And that led me to become involved with young people on the streets, and that was in Cleveland, Ohio. Then I came to Sacramento and joined the church and started also trying to do outreach to bring other young people off the streets into the church and get involved.
So what made you want to get kids involved in the church?
Well, basically, I have a large family. I had 14 children. And That's a few. Being involved with my children and the kinds of things that I could glean from what needed to happen, what needed to happen to mothers who had a lot of children and no avenues whereby to get them exposed to many of the activities going on in the community because of the lack of funds, how we could create for those children events and services that they could come to and not have to pay. So that just made me want to make sure that my children stayed active in the right way and that I could involve other children in some clean activities.
Our kids really lead us into some interesting directions, don't they?
Well, I think when you're really concerned about children, and I've always, for some reason, I think it's a ministry, been concerned about the plight of the child, because we know that healthy, beautiful children make healthy, beautiful adults, which make it better for a better society. And our children do expose us to what is healthy and what isn't healthy.
You bet they do. Let me just say, you people who are listening out there, you have the opportunity to talk to these two women, and we have one more yet to introduce. And you call us at 456-5199. Just call us, and we're here to talk with you, and Diane will pick up the phone and get you in with us, and you can get advice and help and become a change maker or add to your change-making skills that you already have. So again, give us a call, 916-456-5199. We're waiting for you. Okay, and now I'd like to introduce to you, what do we have here? I don't see the name on there. What have we got? Lucy McKinney. So, Lucy, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you've gotten involved in becoming a change maker.
I've become involved in making a change in the community with Rhonda Fletcher. I met her, and before I met her, I've come from back east in Pennsylvania and Michigan. And I'm a musician, and I've been with people and working with people and school programs and band and such. Music was my field, and people were my field.
You and Ida both, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, music brought you to action.
Yes. So anyway, when I met with Rhonda, being a people person like she is, we just clicked. And what she's trying to do, I want to help her to do it. I want her to succeed in this because if we have our children going in the right direction, they are our future. And I want to help her in any way and help all the children in any way and any of the young women that's coming along that need information and help. We want to give them a helping hand.
That's great. And have you done any projects yourself that you've started, even in Pennsylvania?
No projects, just a musician and director.
Do I understand? Are you also a counselor?
I am a counselor in my church.
Well, that's great. Now, you're working with kids there?
I work with everybody. Anybody.
Well, that's
Being
great.
it's in the church, it's anybody that's coming forward to learn more about Jesus. Then we take them in a room and we counsel them and tell them what we know about how to get to him personally, because usually they have a problem when they come in.
Yeah,
And
what
so
kind of
this is where-
problems do you kind of see coming in there with the,
Oh,
with the
they
young
come
people?
in, they have personal problems, like maybe with not being able to get along with people on the job. Some is with their spouse. Some is with at school. And some is with drugs. Some is with pregnancy. Just different things.
So you've got your hands full there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's think about some of the kinds of things that are really important that you want the people who are listening to know about what your organizations are doing right now and how they might even fill into your, come into your bailiwick and join you. What are some of the things that they can join you in? What we'll have right now, we'll have, names go just one. Rhonda, names just go out of my head so fast.
When we first started this organization, we started off with 3 women, and it's just like the 3 of us sitting here talking. And we decided that there were so many issues that affect not only our community and our city, but society as a whole. Say, for instance, drugs and alcohol, teenage pregnancy, domestic violence, crime, quite a few things. And so what I've been trying to do is put together a collaboration of different women from different churches, different government offices, different community-based organizations, to pull them together to build a dialogue to even to begin to discuss some of the issues.
And so where are you holding these meetings, and how do people get together with you?
We meet every second Saturday of the month. We meet this month and the second Saturday in March, on March the 11th, and they can call me at 424-7337 for the
Okay, and I want you to
information.
repeat that number and say it slowly.
You can call me at 424-7337.
Yeah, I don't think Rhonda knows how to speak slowly.
I know.
So say it one more time so everybody has their pencil and they can get it.
Okay, that's 424-7337.
And is that 916?
916 area code.
Very good. Yeah, because I know with me, sometimes I listen to my answering machine and I have to play the answering machine over 3 or 4 times. Some people talk really fast. Great. And so, where are you meeting?
We meet at in the month of March at H&B Cafe, and that's located on Stockton Boulevard in Sacramento.
And how much does it cost?
$10.
And
you get so much information out of that. One of the things that after going through so many meetings, we found out there's a lot of issues that affect women. And one of the things that they don't have, there's a lot of resources, but they don't have access to it. They don't have access to it. And so in those meetings, we give out women's resources directories, domestic violence kits, entertainment guides, employment guides, political guides, so that people have access to some of the resources that are needed to solve some of their problems.
Yeah, I walked out. I went to the breakfast a couple of weeks ago, And I came out with a big bag full of stuff and things to read and things to know about our community. And it's some beautiful women there who are, many of them active. There were political people there speaking, and then there were community activists who were there who were speaking about their life as community people, and it was very inspiring. And so I really highly encourage anybody who wants to go to that meeting. Can it only be women?
No, we like
And
men also.
Can it only be black women?
No,
No.
we're
So
open.
you're open. So make use of that and meet some wonderful people. And what about for you, Ida? What are some of the things that you would like to get people active in, and something that you're up to?
My prize project right now is a program we call the Village Program. We keep hearing this African proverb used, it takes a whole village to raise a kid.
Right.
And I contend there are no villages in our communities, because when I think of a village, I think of people working together in an area to make sure that the area is healthy and that the area will have the resources that are needed. And basically, we live in a society where we are alone. We live in the house, and the people, we don't even know the people next door.
We create our own prison.
We create our own prison. So we have a project where we want to talk about focusing on the child. And if we can focus on the child, we're going door to door, knocking on doors, talking to parents, finding out what the needs are in the low-income communities, and working with those children, because they are the center of our civilization being what it should be. And right now, we have a lot of children in pain and a lot of parents in pain with no idea how to get out. And we want to be there. We got churches involved. We have 3 churches right now who have villages in their churches.
You want to mention those churches?
We have Genesis Baptist Church on Meadowview Road, and we have Greater Faith Baptist Church on, where's that? Earhart. And we have Family Worship Center with Reverend Carson, and he's over on, I think, 47th. But
They're
those,
all kind of on the south side of town?
yes, these, and we are doing a central location in Oak Park. We just got a building that the county donated to us to
Wow.
use.
How did you get the county?
Prayer. And UC Davis gave us a bus, so we have a bus and we have a building, and Pac Bell gave us the first initial funds to hire a couple of staff people. So we've been able to bring a collaborative of people together to talk about building this village that we're talking about.
Yeah, I know in prayers, I think you also have to take some action to get to those people who may be willing to do something. What were some of the activities that you did to get to places like Pac Bell or to the county? How did they know you even existed?
Well, I previously had a computer school for young people a few years ago, and then I moved back east to take care of a brother who was ill. And when I came back, I had closed that program down, and somebody asked me to run for the president of the local branch. And I made the decision the only way I would run is that we would allow the organization would take on saving the children, the year of the child. So I was able to build on what I already knew, agencies that had already worked with us previously. And you hear this, that people don't really fund projects, they fund people. And I think when you get concerned, dedicated people in the community, then the rest of it becomes very easy, making decisions and praying about what should I do. And I really do depend on leadership and guidance that I don't know about to guide me in the direction we should go.
Yeah, we can't always put the goal down on paper and have it written out and have every step known ahead of time. But I call what happens to me sometimes, I call it living in the question. You know, when I notice that I'm really upset about something, and I used to be upset about listening to Rush Limbaugh and Dr. Laura, and I found myself being upset all the time. Every time I listened to them, I just got more and more discouraged about life. And so I said, God, tell me what can I do to do something about this negativity that's going on? And I just lived in that question. I didn't, force myself to figure it all out. And then one day it popped in my head, have a radio show and talk with people about what they can do, not just their complaint, but what they can do. So I call it living in the question, and then some inspiration comes with it. So anything else you want to say right at this second? We're going to break pretty soon. Yeah, and oh yes, my Diane over there is wanting that phone to ring, and she's at 456-5199. Give her a call. She's a nice gal. She'll take good care of you. Can we have a 3-minute break?
Community Radio for Sacramento, The Voice.
Hello, Sacramento. This is Todd Michaels. Join me right here on Sunday nights at 6 for a look back at all the radio hits we grew up with. From 75 to 95, it's The Vault, the biggest collection of pop hits anywhere around. I'll spin yesterday today, plus report facts and features about the recording acts who made the top 40, and read letters from you. That's The Vault, Sunday nights at 6, right here on 91.5 The Voice and Cable FM 88.7. That's Sunday nights at 6, The Vault. I'll talk to you then.
Would you like to hear some nice music? Music that's positive, uplifting, and unique? Well, then tune in to The Haven, where you'll hear the best of inspirational music. The Haven, where the message is the music, and the music is the message.
That's The Haven with Kevin Matlock, Thursday evenings and Friday mornings from 6 until 8 on Sacramento's Voice.
Vincent Watson, are you listening? This is Dorothy Franklin, and you mentor my son, Corey. He says you help him with questions he has. But ever since you came into his life, things haven't been the same. His grades have gone up. He seems happier. You've made a difference in my son's life, Vincent. To him, you are a mentor. To me, you are a saint.
Do good. Call 1-877, be a mentor.
Message brought to you by Save the Children U.S. and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Joanne Woodward. Ever notice how many things in life happen in a circle? The seasons, revolving credit, hula hoops, the spinning of the circle we call Earth, and recycling. Together we've already made a difference. Sorting glass, plastic, separating cans, stacking newspapers. Now there are lots of products made from things we've already recycled. A paperclip, in a more daring life, a 56 convertible, a cereal box, once your Sunday paper. It all goes back to the circle. It starts when we recycle trash at home and at work. It's completed when we buy products made from recycled materials. How do you know the difference? Check the label for something called post-consumer recycled content. Then buy the highest percentage of it you can find. You'll save a tree, you'll save energy, and in your own way, you'll help save the world. Complete the circle.
For your free Buy Recycled shopping guide, call 1-800-CALL-EDF, brought to you by the Ad Council and EDF, the Environmental Defense Fund.
Let me tell you a story about the Cable Foundation. It's not just a place, just for fun and recreation, but you learn neat things about cable TV. And for radio, that's the place to be. You get hands-on instruction each and every class, and if you're there every time, yes, I know that you will pass it. Because there's things you ought to know to produce your own show. And if you're like me, that ought to be your goal. That's right, the Sacramento Cable Foundation, a non-profit organization. If you'd like more information on class schedules and training, just dial 456-8600. Sacramento Cable Foundation, where dreams come true.
Sacramento's Community Radio, The Voice.
Okay, we're back on Action Callers, and we're here today with Ida Sydnor, and we're here with Ronda Fletcher, and we're here with Lucy. Lucy, what is it? McKinney, yes, Lucy McKinney. You know, I had my sister-in-law lived with me for 6 months, and one time I went to there, and that was young before I, have, senior moments. And I went to introduce her to somebody who came to visit us, and I forgot her name. So please don't take it personally if I forget your name. I've been having senior moments since I've been in my 20s, so anyway. So I'd like to know what has given you the most satisfaction in your work that you've done in the community. Any one of you can speak, just whoever wants to answer that question.
I get great satisfaction out of helping people. I've always helped people from the cradle to people in their 80s, and it was just something that was inborn in me to be around people of age and children that couldn't express themselves. Seemed like I could remember when I was their age and know what was going on in their mind. And I always talk to children and my own children in an adult way where they could understand, and they would always respond that way. There was no baby talk or anything, and they always, produced just like they should do. So I liked it from that aspect. But since I've been here with Rhonda, with the women that we've been meeting with, I've been able to glean a lot because I've just come in, and I've been able to get a lot from the women that speak. I find out what their needs are, where their high points are. If I need anything or if I run into anybody that need anything, I'm able to point them in the right direction. That means a lot.
So you're a good networker. You're a person
That's
who
right.
takes in a lot of information and then you spread it out where it needs to go.
That's right.
That's great.
And when I heard Ida talk about the community, it takes the community to raise a child, I saw that advertised here in Sacramento, and I thought about me because I was a child and community raised me. Community raised me from the church to the community center. We had a community Y and different places and in the church. And someone was always looking, always telling you what to do and remember this and that. And it helped along the way. And this is what I would like to extend to children today.
Yeah. One of the things for me, I know, the part of the community that was really helpful to me was the librarians in my local library, who whenever I'd walk into the library, they said, "Oh, Reva, here you are. Let me help you. I just found a wonderful book. I just know you're going to want to read it." And they just expanded my world. It just grew from, and they were with me throughout high school, and I even got together with my former librarian when I was teaching in a college, and I asked her to come and speak. I found her and refound her and had her speak to my class in the college, and she was wonderful with every student in my class. And so librarians and different kinds of people. I know we have police on the beat now. Some of them I think are trained and maybe have special talent in that area to reach kids. So anybody can be a helper to kids. And so just think about yourself, what you can do with the kid next door. Maybe you have a Dennis the Menace next door. Maybe you can start to be creative on what you can do to help that kid. So what about you, Rhonda? What's been the thing that's given you the most satisfaction in being a change maker in the community?
One of the things I can look back over the years and see how many people that I have helped impact their lives. A lot of the young people here, they have very few outlets to go to for help. And not only do one of the best satisfactions, not only do I help my own family, I help my neighbors, any other woman that needs it. And I find that sometimes all people need is somebody to listen to them.
Yeah.
And I think society is so closed now, and we isolate ourselves, where we don't have people to go to. But in this network, it's hundreds of sisters to go to.
Great. Okay, and how about you, Ida? What gives you the most satisfaction? What has given you the most satisfaction in all your years of doing community work?
The greatest satisfaction is to watch a person who have been made to believe that they have nothing to offer, transform into a very productive, teaching kind of staff. When I say that you have people who At one time, they came only for help, and then all of a sudden they become the persons who can share their life and that you can make it if you want to. And see, the bottom line is most people don't have hope. They don't have any idea that they are somebody, because a lot of the people we deal with come through a lot of problems dealing with the racism and the poverty. And poverty is a very negative force in our community that we think people should know what life is all about. And a lot of people have never had an opportunity to live. When you can see people start to bloom and to live and to smile, that's what make my day, is to watch that happen.
Good. And so the question I'd like you to think about before we go into the break is what projects that you've been into have given you heartache? And, you know, like made you maybe want to quit the whole thing, or maybe you quit for a while. And then did you come back? How does that work? Because I know some people get very burnt out doing community work, and we need to keep on having new people, and so so give us a call, because maybe you're one of the new people that can help take over from some of us. And the number to call here to get some support in doing that is call us at 916-456-5199. Again, 916-456-5199. We need you. We need every person that can sit and listen. I know even as a psychotherapist, there was a few years back when I was on my back. So I just laid on my back and my clients came in and I could talk and I could listen. So time now for a break.
The Voice is 88.7 Cable FM and KYDS 91.5 FM Sacramento.
And now we're back from the small break. And so if you thought about that question, I saw some interesting looks on your face when I asked the question, and it looked like the memories kept flowing in there. So would you like to start with that, Ida? And this is Ida Sydnor, who is the president of the NAACP here in Sacramento.
I had no idea when I asked that we would declare the year of the child, the pain that we would receive from finding out the problems in our community. Because once we open the door and say, bring your problems to us, if it involved the children, I have never seen anything like what we're going through in our community right now, with so many children being taken out of the home. Child Protective Services they're caught a catch-22. If they don't take children from some of the homes, you're afraid the children will be wounded because of the drug scene. If you do take the children from the home, many times it's not the people you should be taking children from. And just to watch the kinds of things that are going on in the community, and then the problems in the school district. We lived in a time where everything was open, teachers were permitted to chastise, and a totally different world. And now we live in a world where a parent have no comprehension on what they should do to have children to become disciplined. We came out of a society where the Bible told us to spank our kids according to Scripture. You can't do that anymore. If you scream at the children, that's totally wrong. So the children now are telling the parents what they won't do, what they will do, and if you don't like it, they'll call Child Protective Services. And that's scary.
So it's kind of like an either or. We went from beating kids and trying to beat them into doing things, and I get to see those people in my private practice who have been so abused, and then they're passing on that to their children, and then people who say, well, those boundaries and that kind of discipline didn't help me, so I'm not going to give a lot of discipline, and I'm going to be a nice parent, quote. And so then some kids get too much freedom, and there's some ways that we can learn to be effective. And I don't think, either or really works.
I don't think we have the answers, and I think when I say I don't think we have the answers, I think that every case is an individual case. And what we've done is we kind of boxed everything and say, if you don't do this, then we put you in this box. And we have to deal with each case as an individual case and merit, um, give the persons the merit that they deserve. If you have, I'm afraid now of children who are being have accidents, their parents won't take them to the hospital because the threat is the hospital return you over to Child Protective Services.
Oh my goodness!
And that's a real scary. And I met with the DA's office, and we talked about something has to be done to talk about what's the right way. You can't have your children wounded and hurt and not taken to the hospital, but you can't have your people when they bring the children in and the child has had an accident put in jail because they feel that they have been negligent or that they have been abusive to the child.
Yeah, that's a really interesting project for somebody to join you on. And it sounds like they really need some community involvement to really talk over, maybe do some guidelines and work with CPS on what is a good way of assessing the family and whether it's safe and whether is an accident and all that kind of things. Because we don't want to leave kids in unsafe places. And sometimes, as you say, we put them in places that are more worse.
Right.
And so I see Rhonda has something that she'd like to say about that, or one of your projects that wore you out and that was difficult for you.
Around 4 years ago, I worked on a project, and it was Safe Streets, to clean up the area in reference to crime and drugs and alcohol. And it was to put programs into the community in which that to give the individuals in their neighborhood access to some of the resources. It was a beautiful program, and I know it would have worked. But one of the things that needed to be done was the conscience raising of the individuals who run certain projects, because we have a lot of racism out here, we have a lot of sexism, we also have a lot of capitalism where people go in and parasite off the poor. And one of the things that there's millions of dollars out here to give to certain communities, and I see in Sacramento where it has really deteriorated. When you have areas, say for instance in District 5 in Oak Park, Sacramento, where you have the drugs, the crime, the prostitution, no stores. There's 5-mile areas in Sacramento where you don't have a grocery store. And that didn't happen overnight. And so my biggest heartbreak is that some of the leaders that we elect to take care of some of our needs or to work with us to take care of those, they're not very effective. A lot of it is self-serving.
Yeah, so it sounds like we need to have watchdogs over our elected officials. Sounds like some committees need to be, something like that.
Make them accountable.
Really make our elected officials accountable. Right here at the grassroots levels, right here in River City, we really need to get behind, support the people and the good things they do, and let them know when they're doing things that do not please us and do not seem to be working. So that's another project somebody could join you on, and because I know that the three of you women right here and myself can't do it all, and so we really need those of you out in the community. If there's something that catches your interest here today, give us a call, and you can call on any topic you're wanting to make a change in, because it doesn't have to be on poverty, it could be on other issues. So call us at 916-456-5199. Again, call us at 456-5199, area code 916. We're interested in talking to you and supporting you in what you might want to do in this community to make the world better for you and your children and your grandchildren and whoever. If you have no children, other people's children, because those other people's children turn out to be your doctors. They get to be the teachers to other people. They may be your adult school teacher someday. They may be running the senior center. Who knows? You need to treat each child. Or they might be the person, that robs you. And, if we don't take action and help in all the ways that we can think about, as a community, we're going to be living in hell. And some people are already living in hell here on earth. So what kind of help do you need? And how can how can we support you? Give us a call. And let's see. No projects that wore you out. Okay, so how can our listeners become involved with you? And think about, before our next break, what specific needs do you have? Maybe lay it out, the kind of skills that you need. I know on this radio show here, I could use somebody who knows how to put together web pages and get me set up for email for this program. So if there's anybody who knows how to do web pages and would be the volunteer for that, that would be fantastic. And I want to take a moment to think, speaking of volunteers, is I have 3 of the best volunteers I've ever heard of, and that's Diane, who's doing our taking the calls, and it's our 2 engineers. We have 2 engineers who have taken the training to learn how to run this equipment here to keep us on the air, and we have Michael Geller, who's a workers' comp attorney in his other life. And we also have Steve Baylog, who is an engineer, who is a transportation engineer, who all 3 of them give their time to be here to support me and to support you and doing things that they don't do in their everyday life, but they're doing it here. So I really look forward to hearing from you, and our guests here will be very excited to hear from you. Give us a call at 916-456-5199. I really do look forward to hearing from you, and that is the truth. And so, your efforts can make a difference in the community. You can find something, some small thing. On my other program, I have another person, Esther Mix, who does the timing. She's a woman at home by herself, and she's doing that. Former attorney and judge who's doing the volunteering for our tapes on our 4 o'clock show. So come on back after the break.
You're listening to The Voice 91.5.
Okay, and lights, camera, and action! Grab your hot buttered popcorn and get ready to enjoy the show. You're invited to take a front row seat with host Dave Fox on The Movie Score Weekly. Each and every week, Dave Fox brings you all your favorite music straight from the big screen. Listen as Dave goes behind the scenes to keep you informed on all your favorite movie composers, film release dates, and so much more. The Movie Score Weekly even features some of the rarest soundtracks in the music business, all in pure stereo. So join the fun each Thursday night starting at 8 and rebroadcast at 8 a.m. Friday mornings. You'll want to catch all the action. Don't miss The Movie Score Weekly.
The Voice of Sacramento brings you the only audio virtual village, Rabbit Hollow, 11 a.m. to noon on Fridays and again at 11 p.m. Get ready for eclectic sounds and eccentric adventures right after the big backyard on The Voice of Sacramento.
Hi, I'm Malik Yoba, I play a cop on TV. When I was in high school, I got shot at point-blank range by another kid. My life almost ended.
Each day, 10 kids are shot dead. Call 1-800-WE-PREVENT for information on what you can do to help. Not one more lost life. Not one more grieving family. Not one more.
Getting shot changed my life. Don't wait for something to happen to you to take action. Get involved now. Not everyone gets a second chance.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, the Crime Prevention Coalition, and the Ad Council.
Nobody gets measles anymore, right? Well, there was an epidemic of measles that ended just in 1991. More than 120 people died, many of them children. If they'd been immunized, they might have lived. 1 in 4 babies has not had all his shots. Your child could get a deadly disease. Immunize your babies before age 2. You gave them life. Protect it. For more information, call 1-800-232-2522. A message from the Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the voice,
Okay, we're back to Action Callers, and we're here with 3 guests from the community. We have Ida Sydnor, who's president of the local branch of the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. I knew that, I just forgot it at the beginning. And also we have here is Ronda Fletcher, who is the chairman, the person who got together the African American Women's Prayer Group on Saturdays once a month, and she brings together speakers and places for people to share their feelings and their ideas and their dreams and their prayers together. There's women from 50 people to 300 people on any Saturday. Is there, Rhonda? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she's very active in that, and she's been active in the women's movement for years, and we think we used to do trouble together a few years ago. And also we have here is Lucy McKinney, and I almost got it right. So Lucy McKinney is a support person, and that's how she does her volunteers, supporting Rhonda Fletcher, get around and keep her head together, and she just her tail following and doing whatever is necessary. And that's such an important thing. My volunteers here in this organization here are that kind of thing. We all need support. We can't do it alone. And so Ida has something Ida Sydnor would like to tell us some of the projects she has going and the kind of support, specific kind of support she needs, not just the word volunteer, but what kind of volunteers, because everybody has special talents. So call us at 916-456-5199 and get help from these change makers who are the leaders in our community, who know how to get things done. So here's Ida with her request to the community.
Oh, thank you. I really thank you for permitting us to be on this show today.
Permitting, I want you here.
Right.
Yeah.
We are involved in right now setting up our villages. When I say setting up our villages, what we have done is the 3 sites we're talking about. We have to talk about getting enough computers in each of those sites to connect to. We're trying to put together with Pac Bell assistance this new digital whatever it is, but we have to have computers that are internet accessible.
How many do you need?
We really need 40 per site. 40 per site, because what we're doing is
40, 80,
40,
80, 120.
Right, because every family that will be enrolled in the next 3 months, we want to teach the parent and the children that's old enough how to access the internet and train them how to use these services and have them connected back to our website and our so we can kind of keep in touch with where our children are and what's going on. So we need these computers, and we need computer instructors, people who can teach internet and assist young people especially. How
young is young?
Well, we're talking about 5 years old, school age, because these children will be shut out of the new world if they do not understand the superhighway and all of those things that are going on right now. And it's stated with the Secretary of State's office that basically this group of people, when I say group of people, the people we're knocking on doors and getting involved in the program, will not have what's needed if we don't talk about how we're going to supply that.
Mhm.
So we want to put a lot of folks are throwing away computers
Mhm.
and buying new ones. We like to have those donated. We don't want junk. And I said, I'm not, we want computers that we can use for these families.
Okay, very good. So we need 120 computers for the NAACP.
Right.
And where would they call, and who would they call? And what's the number?
We will be moving. When I say moving, not the whole NAACP. The NAACP is at 3449 2nd Avenue. We are going to be at 3514, the Village headquarters, Broadway, 3514 Broadway. You can call it 733-0430 right now.
Okay, and say it again and even slowly.
733-0430. And we will pick up the computer if people have computers and printers that they would like to donate.
Okay, very good. And it looks like Rhonda is going to tell us something that maybe she needs for her project. What kind of volunteers or what kind of help would be useful to you?
One of the things we're going to do this next month is an election month, and what we need is volunteers to go out and walk into the neighborhoods, into different diverse neighborhoods, and get out to vote. A lot of people don't know how important it is for them to get out and vote. Another project we're working on is making sure that underprivileged areas be counted in the census. So we'd like volunteers to come out, and if they'd like to work on getting the word out to get more volunteers to make sure that everyone's counted.
What's so important about, I was at the lecture and I heard this, one of our councilwomen speaking about the importance of the census. Why is the census so important? Would you tell our listeners why the census is absolutely crucial and why it's very necessary for people of color to get out and be counted?
Okay, one of the important things is as you look throughout Sacramento, we have a lot of deteriorated schools. We have, like in some stores, they give you counts, and there's no grocery stores. One of the things that the census is based on when we get federal monies is how many people live in a certain area. And quite a few people in our area don't take the census because they don't trust the system or whatever. And so we have, some of it goes for schools, some of it goes for some of the economic boundaries that affect us.
So if they don't get counted,
they don't get the money.
Then the community doesn't get the money. It goes to the community.
Say, for instance,
where
like
there are more people.
Crime and all of the things that go on in our community. Like some of the programs that they have, like hospitals, teenage pregnancy is important, the infant mortality rate, and all of those things, but the people that really need the help don't get counted, so the funds don't come into our community.
So good. So everybody needs to get counted. Everybody needs to be able to tell a little bit about themselves to the census taker so that you get the information that they need to find out if this community needs help for pregnant women.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that another project that you're interested in, is pregnant women, Rhonda? Isn't that something that you've got a little idea on?
Sacramento has a high teenage pregnancy rate. And I don't think we're born mothers, we learn as we go. But say, for instance, teenagers need to become adults before they have kids. Not to have the kids then plan, they need to plan and then have the kids. And one of the things that we find that the stress that's on young people is so overwhelming, and so they find other avenues to cope. And a lot of it's drugs, alcohol, hanging out with their friends. And so then you have another group of children that are born that don't get the nurturing, the love, and get taken care of because the parents haven't gotten to that part where they planned first. And that's a lot of that's going on in Sacramento.
And so is there something that you'd like to do about some of that?
What I like to do is to do workshops and have people that can call, they can be counselors, they can be outreach workers, that can just sit down and do support groups to take some of the shame that society has placed on being a teenage mother off of the women.
So you would like some people who maybe have a counseling background and somebody
They like to do outreach.
and like by outreach, what do you mean by going to homes?
Well,
and
no,
going
what we
people's
do is we
homes, or
have
what?
different offices and different agencies in other places where we can have support groups for some of these young teenage mothers to go to.
Mhm.
Some of them don't talk to their parents or their relatives. And
Or to their
so-
school counselor.
Really. And so what we're looking for is like psychologists, sociologists. You don't have to have a degree in it, but to be able to be compassionate and listen to some of the young ladies' stories.
And not make them feel guiltier than
There
they
you
are,
go,
or
or
bad or shamed. That's great. And what do you say? I see you shaking your head over there.
I'm shaking my head in
you see?
agreement with everything that Ida and Rhonda is saying because I'm involved with helping some teenage mothers in the future. Just as soon as we'll be able to get it organized, and I'm listening to everything that's being said about children. So I'm just shaking my head in that respect. Everything is good.
Great. So let's see. What I'd like to say is you can call us. Maybe get a quick call in at 916-456-5199. But we may have to end. If you haven't called, call us next week. We'll be here next week at 5 p.m. And we'll have the guests from, we'll have Shireen Miles, an old friend of Rhonda's, who is the outreach director for WEAVE, Women Escaping a Violent Environment. And she'll come and talk about WEAVE and what they've been doing. And I do know I moved to Sacramento at about the time Gail Jones started WEAVE. And so right now, you know, they've got a wonderful program going, and Shireen will talk about that. So at this time, I want to acknowledge our three volunteers and our three change makers who have been here today, and that has been Lucy McKinney and Rhonda Fletcher and Ida Sydnor. And remember, your voice can be heard on this station, FM 91.5, by either telephoning us at 916-456-5199, or you can listen to our program on www.sacramento.org at 4 o'clock in the morning or 4 in the afternoon on radio. So this is a state-of-the-art program where we will use every form of communication, written or spoken, to become seekers of solutions for the many problems that face our planet. Be part of the solution rather than being part of the problem. We'll use the messes in our life to get to semi-well-ordered solutions. Thanks so much, Ida, Rhonda, and Ida, for all your support to our community and to planet Earth. Tune in next week for more great ideas for making positive change in our community. Our next guest change maker will be Shireen Miles, as I said before, who has many projects that she's initiated. And so you can reach me again at 916 and leave a message for me, and I can address some of your questions and comments at 916-456-5199. What kind of help do you need now? Call us and let us know.